Have you ever gotten to the end of your day and felt like you were just busy? Like you spent all your time on tiny, repetitive tasks that just ate up the clock? Well, today, we're diving into a story about exactly that and how one professional got back a whopping 90 hours a year by automating all that boring work away.
So let me ask you this, and be honest. When you're at your computer, what's the one shortcut you absolutely cannot live without? If you're like most of us, it's probably the old classic, copy and paste. And yeah, it feels like you're getting things done, but what if it's really just a signal that you're stuck on a hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over again?
And that feeling of being stuck, that's exactly where our story kicks off. We're going to look at a professional who was completely, totally trapped by paperwork.
So, picture this, a solo lawyer. You know, they probably got into the profession to argue cases, to help people, to do important legal work, but the reality of their day? It was just a mountain of boring, repetitive tasks. This constant, nagging pile of administrative work that had to get done, but was just soul-crushing.
And when we say grind, we really mean it. Just look at this. For every single new client, this lawyer had to type out their data for meeting notes. Okay, fine. But then they'd have to copy and paste that same info into a power of attorney form, and then do it again for the official cover sheets, and then again for the contracts, sometimes in the header and then down in the signature block. On top of all that, they had to manually create the exact same folder system every single time. It's just a recipe for burnout, not to mention simple typos and mistakes.
But you know, sometimes in the middle of all that monotony, a really good idea can spark. A vision for a smarter, more efficient way to work. So let's see how they started imagining that better way.
And it all started with this one simple, but honestly game-changing question. What if all of that mind-numbing busy work could just go away? Not by hiring more people, but by building a smart system that could handle it all automatically.
This wasn't just some vague dream either. It turned into a really specific wish list. The goals were super clear. Number 1, make the whole new client process way faster. 2, completely get rid of typing the same thing over and over. 3, make sure every single case folder and file is perfectly consistent, automatically. And the big one, generate perfect error-free documents with just a couple of clicks.
So that's the dream, right? But how did they actually build it? Well, that's where we get to the blueprint. And the most brilliant part? It didn't involve buying some crazy expensive new software. They used tools they already had.
Here was the core idea, the big aha moment. The foundation was already there. This lawyer was using Microsoft Word, Outlook, the standard stuff. The breakthrough was realizing they could unlock the hidden power of that whole system by connecting it with a few other services from Microsoft.
And the build itself came down to these 4 steps. First, they got all their templates in order in Microsoft Word. Then, and this is key, they created a central data hub using a SharePoint list. Just think of it like a master spreadsheet where you enter client info one time and one time only. Third, they built a super simple app using Power Apps just to make entering that data clean and easy. And finally, they deployed the engine, Power Automate. That's the magic piece that works in the background, grabbing the data and putting it everywhere it needs to go.
Okay, so after all that setup, did it actually work? What were the results? Well, this is the best part. This is the 90-hour payoff.
The impact was huge, and it was immediate. For every single new client, the new automated system saved a full 30 minutes of busy work. That's half an hour back, right off the bat, for every single case.
Now, let's zoom out. You take that 30 minutes per client, and you spread it across a whole year. That adds up to about 90 hours saved. That is more than 2 full 40-hour work weeks. 2 weeks of your life just handed back to you.
And what's that time worth? Well, in this case, it was valued at up to 9,000 euros reclaimed every single year. I mean, that's money you can use to grow the business, or maybe more importantly, that's 2 extra weeks of vacation, totally paid for by being smart about your workflow.
This slide really just spells it out perfectly. The difference is like night and day. You go from endless manual data entry to entering it just once. You go from being prone to typos and errors to getting 100% error-free documents, from messy, inconsistent folders to a perfect, standardized structure every time. The whole process went from being slow and just tedious to being fast and automated. This wasn't just about saving time. It was about building a better, more reliable system.
But the story doesn't even stop there. Because once you build a foundation like this, it opens up your mind to all the other possibilities. It makes you ask, what else could I automate?
With all that basic busy work gone, the lawyer is now looking ahead. And what's on the horizon is pretty exciting. Things like fully automating monthly invoicing,
Imagine the system generating, sending, and filing all your invoices without you lifting a finger. Or even cooler, using AI to help with legal research, scraping court decisions, and summarizing cases for you. The potential is just enormous.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. This story isn't just about one lawyer, right? It's about a whole new way of thinking. It's about looking at those tedious, repetitive parts of your own job and asking that same powerful question. So I'll leave you with this. If you could wave a magic wand and automate just one thing, what's the very first boring task you would get rid of forever?